friends, and welcome to wikipediaworld.com, your destination to online education. Friends, today we are going to start with the last topic of the language of chemistry, which is chemical bonding. Here I have divided this topic into two sections, that is part 1 and part 2, to make the learning more effective. So let's start with the part 1. Here in this part, we will be discussing chemical bonding, causes of chemical bonding, types of chemical bonding, that is electrovalent bonding and covalent bonding. So let's start the session. So what is chemical bonding? A chemical bonding happens when two or more atoms joins together to form a molecule. That is, it is basically a principle of science which says that everything in this world will try to reach their lowest energy level, and chemical bonding will only take place when a molecule can form that has less energy than its uncombined atom. So we can also say this thing by when an atom of an elements combine to form a molecule, a force of attraction, which we also call as electrostatic force, is developed between the atom which holds them together. This is called chemical bonding. For example, let's see, we have chlorine. This is actually the atoms which forms Cl2, a molecule. Now you will see here that in a chlorine molecule, Cl2 has two chlorine atoms that held together by the chemical bond. So Cl2 has a less energy than the two chlorine atoms on separate nodes, which is more stable than two other chlorine atoms. So this is which is formed a chemical bond. Let's write the proper definition and understand it more effectively. So here I write chemical bonding is when an atom of the element combine to form a molecule. A force of attraction, say electrostatic force or attraction, is developed between the atoms which hold together. This is called chemical bond, right? So friends, we have different kinds of force of attraction between the atoms. It can be with same type of atoms. It can be different types of atoms, but there is some force of attraction to make them more stable. Why? Now let's understand why we should have a chemical bonding, or why many elements cannot exist in the atomic state but only exist in the molecular state. Just because the atoms of the element wants to have a inert electronic configuration to be stable. This is the basic reason why all the atoms of the element wants to have a chemical bonding, just because to have an inert electronic configuration, that is the outermost shell of every element, if it is filled by 8 electrons, it is called a inert or noble gas configuration. We'll be understanding in later in these future slides. So what are the types of chemical bonding? There are many types of, basically in a broader category we have two One is electrovalent bonding, and we have covalent bonding. Valent means empty. So we also call them ionic bondings. We'll be basically understanding these bondings in this upcoming slides. Covalent bonding, there are three types of covalent bonding. We have single, double bonding, and we have triple bonding. So friends, let's understand now these slides. So now tell me, what is the cause of chemical bonding? Yes, we have understood that to make it more stable, every atom has to go into the less energy state, that is a non-reactive state. So everything in this world wants to be more stable. For atoms, stability means having electron arrangement of an inert gas. An atom combines with one another to achieve the inert gas electron arrangement and become more stable. So in other words, I'll say the atom form chemical bond to achieve stability by acquiring the inert gas electron configuration. So the atom can be achieved the inert gas electron arrangement in three ways. First is by losing one or more electron to another atom. Second, by gaining one or more electron to another atom, or by sharing one or more electron to another atom. So, when an atom combines to form a chemical bond, we also call them chemical compounds. They do so in such a way that each atom gets 8 electrons in its outermost shell and or 2 electrons in the outermost, that is K shell. In other words, the atom having a less than 8 electrons or 2 in the outermost shell are the most unstable, and they are the reactive atoms which take parts in the chemical reaction, so that the atom have a tendency to achieve the inert gas electronic arrangement. So now friends, let's understand the types of chemical bonding. Yes, we have two kinds of chemical bonding. First is electrovalent bonding and second is covalent bonding. So here you can see this image. An electrovalent bonding are formed by the transfer of electrons from one atom to the another, and whereas the covalent bond which are formed by the sharing of electrons between two atoms. So when a chemical bond is formed between the atoms, then both the combining atoms acquire the stability, that is the inert gas electron configuration. We shall be understanding the types of bondings one by one. Yes friends, electronic, that is electrovalent bonds are also called ionic bonds. We'll be discussing. So let's start with electrovalent bond. We'll be having a small cartoon parody to make it a more understandable and more knowledgeable. So here is the small parody by the sodium and the chloride. Let's enjoy. I only have 17 electrons. I do feel so much better if I had one more. I have one extra. Here, if you can take it, I'll give it to you. Wow! Are you sure you're going to give me your electron? You make me more stable. Yeah, while giving you one electron, I'll be two the stable one. Yeah, yippee! We two are now friends. Yes, I am positive. So friends, The chemical bond formed by the transfer of electrons from one atom to the another atom is known as electrovalent bond. We also call it ionic bond because it is a chemical bond between the oppositely charged ions, as the transfer of electron takes place in such a way that the ions formed have the stable electron arrangement in an inert gas. Here you can see an atom which is having a spare electron can give to the another atom. It can be needing one electron to get more stable. So they two are being more stable, one having the 2 electrons in the gas shell and one having the 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So finally, if you see, if I take the example of sodium chloride, we'll get like this. That is in the formation of electrovalent bond between a metal or a non-metal. That is, let's understand this. Na with the metal and chlorine with the non-metal. The metal atom donates one or more electron to the non-metal atom. By losing electrons, the metal atom form a positively charged, that is cation, and the non-metal accepts the electron donated by the metal and forms a negatively charged ions, that is an ion. The positive ion and the negative ion attract one another, and the strong force of attraction developed between the positively charged ion is known as the electrovalent bond or ionic bond. Friends, please note that when a metal reacts with a non-metal, transfer of electron takes place from metal atom to the non-metal atom, and the electrovalent bond is formed. We can also call it ionic bond is formed. As sodium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal, so when sodium reacts with chloride to form sodium chloride, transfer of electron takes place from the sodium atom to the chlorine atom. So here we can see the compound is formed NaCl. We don't write plus N minus as a superscript. We can also write like this NaCl straight. So friends, let's sum up the electrovalent bond. First, it is a bond, or say it is a chemical bond formed by the transfer of electrons from one atom to the another is called electrovalent bond. And yes, it is also called ionic bond. And an electrovalent bond is formed when one of the atom can donate electron to achieve the inert gas configuration, and the outermost shell of an atom needs an electron to achieve the inert gas configuration. And last, electrovalent bonds are formed between a metal and a non-metals. Now friends, let's understand the covalent bond. Covalent bond can be modeled by the kids sharing their toys. For example, you can see here there are 3 kids, one Shaggy, which says, I only need 2 more toys to be happy. And Lily and Billy says, we only need 1 more toy each. If we share, we can all be happy. Now you can see this. One kid have 6 toys and other 2 girls have one each. So if they share, they all 3 will be having 8 toys. So now, yeah, we are now happy. We can understand this parody by our chemistry terms. That is, a chemical bond formed by the sharing of electrons between 2 atoms is known as covalent bond. Here you can see this. There are 2 different atoms which share the electrons, form a molecule. That is, the sharing of electron takes place in such a way that each atom in resulting molecule gets the stable electron arrangement of inert gas. It should also be noticed that the atoms share only their outermost electrons in the formation of covalent bonds. So friends, covalent bonds is formed when both the reactive atom needs electron to achieve the inert gas electron arrangement. Now you have seen that the non-metal have usually 5, 6, 7 electrons in the outermost shell of their atoms. So except the carbon which has 4 and hydrogen which has just 1 electron in the outermost shell. So all the non-metal atoms need electrons to achieve the inert gas structure. They are actually called the electrons which are mutual sharing with each other. Thus, whenever a non-metal combines with a non-metal, a covalent bond is formed, right? For example, you see here hydrogen is a non-metal and carbon is also non-metal, having 4 electrons in the outermost shell and needs 4 more electrons to complete with the 8 electron structure and become more stable. We can also see that hydrogen is atomic number. Let's understand by this. So we know that the carbon have the electronic configuration 2 and 4 with KLN. So the carbon having 4 electrons in the outermost shell and hydrogen having atomic number 1 and needs 1 more electron to be more stable by 2 electrons with the helium structure. So we can say that the carbon atom have 4 electrons to share and hydrogen atom have 1 electron to share. So if we combine these together, we'll be having like this: 1 carbon, 1 hydrogen, 1 carbon, 1 hydrogen, 1 carbon, 1 hydrogen, which actually makes a covalent bond between these two elements, that is CH4. Friends, please note that the covalent bonds formed between two non-metals and the electrovalent bond forms between a metal and a non-metal, right? So in the formation of covalent bond between two nonmetals, each nonmetal share 1 electron or more electron with the another nonmetal atom, as the sharing of electrons are counted with both the atoms, due to which each atom in a resulting molecule gets an inert gas electron arrangement of 8 or 2 electrons in the outermost shell, right? The sharing or the shared pair constitute the covalent bonds. Now let's understand and sum up with the definitions. The chemical bond formed by the sharing of electrons between two atoms is known as a covalent bond. The sharing of electron takes place in such a way that electron of each atom in the resulting molecule gets the stable electron arrangement of an inert gas. And whenever a non-metal combines with a non-metal, sharing of electron takes place between their atoms and a covalent bond is formed. Now friends, as I have told you earlier, that covalent bonds have 3 types of bonds, which is single bond, double bond and triple bond. So this topic will be covered in the chemical bonding part 2 slides. For today, for this session, I'll be ending up, we'll be meeting with the chemical bonding, that is a continuation of the chemical bonding part 1. I hope you have understood the topic and it will be more clear when we end up with the chemical bonding part 2. Thank you.